Hey guys, on Sunday, I'm gonna give you a quick message too, because I was listening to somebody and she brought up a very good point. This one person, I really like listening to her, and it's about talking about the struggles. That people make it seem like some people go through like just easy struggle of what people go through. And there is no easy struggle on being homeless or having people attack you or the government or these society groups. They there's no easy way. The whole thing is that the whole time when I was homeless and going through this struggle, I don't really like to talk about it because I'm not trying to give the ops or anybody the upper hand or to make them out to be something great, or these secret societies, because it's all about their connections and what they did and how they went about it. It's really about the connections, who they know, and how much money they spend into this. I don't know what the whole fucking reason was. At the time, I had no fucking clue. But as I was going homeless, as I was homeless off and on for 5 years, it wasn't easy. I don't recommend it to nobody. I don't glorify it, and I don't want it to be looked upon as recommended to everybody to go out there and go be homeless and go find yourself. Everybody has their own way of finding themselves. Everybody deals with their own situation differently, their lessons in life. I'm not recommending that by all means. Trust me. It was fucking hell. I went through a lot of times. There was times that for 5 years, I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. Couldn't hold a job, stuck in a karmic relationship, just very low self-esteem. And the karmic, I got to the point where I was codependent. Never lazy, because I helped with construction work and I helped him with doing construction work. He can never take that from me. And whether he does, I really don't give a shit what he thinks about me now. But I know, and God knows the truth, and that's all that fucking matters to me. Is that I was in the relationship through thick and thin. I was the fucking ride or die bitch at the time. And I didn't see nothing wrong with it, because I thought he felt the same way. The point is that he's the one who brought it, kind of in the realization that something was going on, that somebody was being paid, but I didn't know that he was involved with the people. He knew a lot of information, which back then, being naive, I should have figured out that he was part of the problems, and that he was the fucking problem. Ever since I got with him, my life went to shit. But I didn't know he was sent, and I didn't know he was either sent to, like, I don't know what he wanted to do. I don't know if it was to use me, to sacrifice me for life insurance with these people, this group of people, whoever he was associated with, or if he was going to sex traffic me, or take my organs. There was something going on with him, but I couldn't figure out what it was. But it took me a couple of years. I was in the relationship for 5 years. It took me about almost 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years, to figure out what the fuck was going on and how to know that this motherfucker was really not who he supposedly was, even though I knew him since we were 10 years old. So you understand, I knew this guy since we were 10 years old. And he found me on Facebook, and we rekindled because we were like friends from school up to high school. He married somebody else, I married somebody else, and we lost contact for 30 to 35 years. All of a sudden, he finds me on Facebook. He messages me. We start talking for months before I make the decision to go and be with him. Told me he was kind of sick and that he needed help and he didn't want to die by himself. He said he had cancer. Didn't tell me he was schizophrenic. He didn't tell me what he was sick of, And so I go very open-heartedly, nobody should die alone. I want to go be with this person. Had feelings for him. Always had a little crush on him, but not really in high school. But there was always something about him that intrigued me. So I went to figure out what the hell was up, and to be with this guy. And I pissed off my family and my children, and they stopped talking to me. And I thought, well, maybe this is what the reason is, maybe this is why they stopped talking to me, because I went and got heavier on drugs. And I basically went and started living a different life as far as doing construction work, being with him, devoting my whole life to somebody, and my kids weren't used to that. People weren't used to seeing me like that. And when I say kids, they weren't kids. Son was already in his late 20s. My other child was in her mid-20s, and my baby was 19 years old. So it's not like I left these kids or I abandoned them or I was a bad mother, because it was far from that. These were already adults when I left. They didn't need me. I went through this feeling unwanted, I guess, because of the codependency. My kids were gone. I felt like there was nobody needing me. And this person reached out to me on Facebook as a childhood friend said he was ill, didn't want to die alone, so I came to be with him to help him. I felt propelled to help somebody, in need, and it was a friend of school, and my kids were like, "You don't even know this person; he could be a weirdo," and I was like, "No, no, he's a friend. He's a friend from school. How can he be a weirdo? And, you guys are crazy." But they even said it to me. You understand what I'm saying? This is how enlightened my children are. And there I go like an idiot, and I'm like, fuck, I'll go hang out with this dude and, have some good times because all my life been married, always in serious relationships, married. And I was and always worried about my kids. I finally could like live a life of worrying about myself. It was like a sense of freedom. It was crazy. Since the age of 19, 20, I was pregnant and married and having children and being a responsible adult. So I never really got to enjoy childhood. Somebody's here. Somebody's here. Just a second. Okay, I got to put you guys on hold.